We've probably all joined contests that say you must be present to win. But I think it's true for more than just door prizes and raffles. The moments that matter most are the ones we fully show up for. Today, I'm sharing practical tools and simple daily practices to help you make your presence the best present you can give to others and to yourself. Hello, my friend. I'm so happy you're here to spend a few moments with me today. Let's start with a question. When was the last time you felt really present in the moment? Not stuck in the past, not planning the future, just fully here. In our busy lives, it's so easy to be pulled in 100 directions, whether it's yesterday's unfinished tasks, tomorrow's concerns, or even that little device we carry everywhere. That can really distract us. But what if finding more joy, connection, and meaning doesn't have to be complicated? Today, I want to share how presence, the simple act of showing up fully, can truly transform our moments. It reminds me of something I learned while working at a resort spa many years ago. I had a colleague who taught mindful eating classes, and their signature exercise was taking 10 full minutes to experience a single raisin. Yep, one raisin. This is a common mindfulness exercise, but if you're not familiar with it, our guests would examine this tiny dried fruit like it was a precious gem, noticing every wrinkle, feeling its texture, listening to the subtle sound it made when rolled between their fingers. And when they finally tasted it, many said they'd never really experienced a raisin before that moment. This might sound elaborate for a simple raisin, but it teaches us something valuable. We can use our senses as doorways to presence. And you know what's interesting? While the word presence isn't actually derived from our physical senses, our five senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, are some of the most powerful tools we have for achieving presence. They're like doorways that bring us right into the present moment. We could even think of presence, that word, as pre-sense, to remind us to tune into our senses to fully arrive in the now. And that's exactly what we're going to explore right now with the five senses, so hang with me. First of all, sight. Notice the play of light and shadow throughout your day. Try looking at familiar objects as if you're seeing them for the first time. What details have you missed? I put on a sweater the other day and I've had it forever, and I looked down at the buttons and realized, wow, these are really pretty buttons. I've never actually looked closely at them before. That's what I'm talking about. Just anything like that that really brings you into the present moment where you are at that time. Even something as simple as watching leaves dance in the breeze can bring you right into the present moment. Okay, next one, sound. Close your eyes, well, if you can, unless you're driving or sharpening knives or something like that. But if you can close your eyes for just a minute and listen to the layers of sound around you. Layers of sound. I just like the sound of that, layers of sound. There's usually so much that we filter out, which is a gift because there's no way we could handle all the stimuli out there. But let's just take a minute and open up to it. You might hear birds in the distance or the hum of electronics, even the rhythm of your own breath. Every sound can be an anchor to the present moment. Next, smell. Our sense of smell bypasses our thinking mind and connects directly to our emotional brain. Take conscious breaths and notice the subtle scents around you. Next is taste. Even without a raisin exercise, we can practice presence through taste. Notice the different flavors in each bite of your next meal. Let them remind you to slow down and savor. Hubby and I recently ate at an Ethiopian restaurant. We kept hearing that, oh, you need to go eat Ethiopian because we're vegetarian and there's a lot of vegetarian things there. And it was delicious. And I found myself being so present in the moment, mostly because I was trying to figure out what some of the food was. It was good and it was prepared in a way I haven't had before. And there were some subtle spices and flavors that I never did figure out. But it felt great to be totally there in the moment. My taste buds kept me in the moment. All right, the next one is touch. Feel the different textures in your environment, like the smoothness of your desk, the fabric of your clothes, even the temperature on your skin. Touch brings us immediately into the now because it's impossible to feel something from the past or the future. Let's talk about what happens when we're not present. Think about reading a book. Have you ever gotten to the bottom of a page and realized you have no idea what you just read? Your eyes saw the words, but your mind was somewhere else entirely? Oh, please tell me I'm not the only one who does that. Or you've driven home and you don't even remember how you got there because your mind was on autopilot? Yeah, this can happen in lots of ways in our daily lives. We're physically here, but our minds are busy planning tomorrow or replaying yesterday. So, what we miss when we're not present is the subtle beauty in ordinary moments. We miss chances to really connect with other people. And I think also we can miss simple solutions that might be right in front of us. We also miss the natural rhythms of our body and any messages it's trying to tell us. So, let me share 2 practical tools and then 3 daily practices for becoming more present. First, the practical tools. They're quick techniques you can use anytime. The sense switch. When your mind wanders, engage your senses by noticing 3 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, and 1 thing you can smell. This is adapted from a longer therapeutic technique called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method, but even this shorter version can help bring you back to the present moment. And just make it simple. You can do any of the 5 senses that I mentioned earlier. Just do 3 of one of them, 2 of another, and 1 of another. Make it simple, keep it fun. That's my motto. But just doing that really helps you come back to the present moment. All right, so that was the first one, the sense switch. And then the second one is the raisin method, which I also already talked about. So pick any simple object, explore it fully through your senses, its appearance, texture, sound, smell, and hopefully it's food, a little nut or raisin or grape or berry. If it's food, then you can taste it too. If not, yeah, of course, don't do that. But you can practice it with anything from a leaf to a paper clip. So you don't have to include the taste in all of those, but just any little object, just really explore it, pay attention to it. Like I said earlier about the button on an old sweater of mine. So those are 2 tools. And then here are 3 daily practices to help build your presence muscles. So number 1, the morning minutes. Choose 1 daily routine and make it a no phone zone. Just experience it fully. Now, a lot of us probably use our phones as alarm clocks, so we start the day touching our phone. But let it sit without you somewhere else while you have some alone time, some morning minutes. While you brush your teeth or eat breakfast or get dressed, you might do this anyway, but if you're a morning phone person, try starting your day by just being fully present in those moments and see what insights come to you when you're fully present. Number 2, the 2 count connection. Count in 2 in your head before responding in conversations. Oh, this one's a little bit harder for me. So this one also is a little tricky to do if you're in a group of people and everyone's talking. And if you hesitate for 2 seconds, you may not get to say what you're going to say. So I recommend practicing this in one-on-one conversations. So it's just 2 seconds. It's a tiny pause that helps you listen fully instead of jumping in with what you're going to say. And then the person feels like you weren't fully listening. You were just planning what you were going to say next. I know a couple people who do this really well. And when you speak to them, you feel like they are truly absorbing your words and they are there present in the moment. It's a beautiful gift you can give someone. But one person I'm thinking of specifically, I used to feel a little awkward with that because it was like there's this little pause before he answered anything. And then I just leaned into that and went, what can I learn from this? And what I learned is, wow, I do feel like this person is fully present in the conversation. And you don't have to just like sit there for the 2 seconds. You're actually, if you, that's just enough time to do a little nod and a before you say something else. So it's just not jumping right in. It feels so good to be heard. So give that gift of really listening to somebody. And number 3, the new notice. Find one new thing each day in your familiar environment. Now listen up, here's the really important part. It's not about looking for something new. It's about seeing what you see all the time, but seeing it with new eyes. Being present isn't about being perfect. It's about gently returning to the now again and again. Each time your mind wanders, you bring it back. That's not a failure, that's practice. Celebrate yourself for noticing. And remember to use your 5 senses as a super easy way to gently bring you back to the present moment. And I think sometimes we fear that if we're not multitasking, if our brain isn't thinking ahead, if we're not thinking about this and that, then something's going to fall through the cracks or get lost or not get done. But what I've learned, and this actually, presence was my word of the year for last year. I have another episode coming up on words of the year. So I learned a lot about it last year because that was my intention, to learn a lot about it. And I'm not perfect at it at all, but I'm a lot better than I was. So I used to worry, and maybe you do this too, but I used to worry about, well, I can't just let those thoughts go and be totally right here. But you know what I found? I was diluting all the thoughts and all the things that I was concerned about or thought I needed to be thinking about in this moment or that moment. I just gave them their own moment instead of trying to dilute them across time and have those in my brain all the time. It's like, nope, thoughts, this isn't your time to be here. I'll figure you out later when it's your time. But right now I'm present in this moment with this person, with this conversation, with this meal, with this thing I'm writing, whatever it is. It's easy to just get in the habit of that and pull yourself back to, I'm not going to lose anything. It actually is way more helpful in the long run to be totally present in everything you do rather than halfway present in most of the things you do because you think you have to keep thinking about something else and planning for something else. You don't have to. You'll get better, more concentrated thoughts if you set that aside for another time and be totally present in the moment you're in. And a final thought. You must be present to win. It's not just for contests. It's what helps us win in life. So, wherever you are, be there.